Hello and welcome. My name's Yvonne and I work in the service design team at North East Lincolnshire Council. We are working collaboratively with Leeds City Council on the Visualising Failure in Waste Services project. Around the table at North East Lincolnshire Council, we've got Sonia, who's project lead. We've got Susan, Dave, Lottie and Simon, all from North East Lincolnshire Council Service Design Team, and we're also joined by our colleagues from Leeds who represent customer services and waste and IT services. So the North East Lincolnshire's journey to Alpha, how did we get there today? So we undertook discovery work as part of our failure demand project. We determined where the biggest failure demand was within the smarter neighbourhood services and how this could be reduced. As part of the user research, we worked with waste management team managers, the crews, the business support, customer services, members and residents. And we collated the research work and identified data along with 4 other areas as key opportunities to tackle failure demand. We realised that there were gaps in the data collected, which left us unable to determine if and why bins were genuinely missed. Clear improvements could be made, and this is how the initial concept of a data dashboard became the main focus based on user needs. We discussed with service managers and agreed a basic prototype design. So the project scope, it was develop and deliver a minimal viable product of a dashboard for missed bins for waste teams to improve operational management, identify root causes, failure demand, and to inform service improvement. Dashboards will provide analysis by round, what collection type of missed bin report outcomes, and it will also have the ability to drill down to individual properties. So our vision, how did we get to the vision? Well, Leeds and North East Lincolnshire Council, we worked together at the Agile for Team training day. We worked in an agile way using post-it notes. We had discussions, we threw out some ideas, we looked at the bid, we picked out the keywords from the scope and started to put the vision together. And the final vision that we came to was provide a waste dashboard with accurate, up-to-date information about missed bins to improve the service.
Okay, so what have we done so far? So we've had site visit with Leeds and a few kick-off telephone calls. We've also attended Agile for Teams training and we agreed our approach for the project. We agreed our core principles working together. We decided that we would use Slack and Trello as our agreed communication channels. So that would help us to plan work and document our progress and share that freely between us. We also agreed to work in fortnightly sprints with weekly stand-ups and retros, which were going to be done via Skype calls. During the Agile Teams training, we looked at the Alpha stage on the gov.uk service manual to make sure that we covered the aspects we needed to for the Alpha project. The key stages of the Alpha are inception, so it's getting the right team together, setting goals and identifying risks. We did that quite early on in the project. Then iterations, which is the building, testing and keep testing the prototypes until everyone is happy and we've met our user needs. And conclusion, is it right and whether or not to move to beta with the prototype. And for this project, this will include our user testing report and in the business case, the requirements for MHCLG. And that will determine from the business case whether or not we think we should move to beta.
So actions we've taken so far together, we've had an initial kick-off meeting call and then regular fortnightly Skype calls since then, just to check in on what each other's doing and plan for the next steps for the next couple of weeks. North East Lincolnshire have come to Leeds City Council and we demonstrated our customer services information collection service like C360 and how we collect waste services information through Collective, and also gave a tour of our contact centre. North East Lincolnshire then shared their prototype idea and see what our ideas of that were. We have both completed our discovery work and looked into our customer needs, our customer issues, what we would need from the waste side, what any issues we were experiencing from members or from customer services. And then from that work, we've collated and put together some user personas, specifically looking at customers who are contacting us via the phones, via social media, what waste services, customer services and waste crews would need, which is highlighting each different need from each different area and what we need to know to then create some viable user stories from that. And then finally, we've identified some benefits and risks together, which Laura will go through now.
Yeah, so in terms of benefits and risks, the main benefit that we've identified is that by developing a dashboard, it's going to help us to improve service delivery so that we can target resources more effectively by allocating capacity to priority areas and reducing failure in demand. So this will work by establishing the quality of service provided to Leeds residents and North East Lincolnshire residents currently, and where there are recurring challenges. So the idea is that we can also better manage customer expectations by having clear data that we can use to provide customer with accurate and up-to-date information about their bin collections and why their bin was missed, and reduce the amount of avoidable contact that we're receiving and the amount of customer complaints. The other benefit is about in terms of the ways of working. So the fact that we're getting to collaborate together on this means that we are learning a lot and being able to practice agile project management together. The collaboration and the learning through developing data standards is also really useful, and we're working to develop a prototype which is based on user needs, and we're able to carry out testing to ensure that what we're doing is going to meet their needs. We've also identified some risks in that the collaborative working can be quite challenging because we are using different systems and we're set up in different ways. We're also aware that this project has quite a short timescale, so we've got to be realistic in terms of what can actually be achieved within this stage of the project. And the other thing we're aware of is sort of technical challenges in terms of actually getting the data out of the system into a dashboard, and also making sure that the data that we are using is going to be used correctly and isn't down to misinterpretation. Yeah, they're the main benefits and risks.
The key findings we've had is that we are using very different systems, both to record data and to present that data as well. From the discovery, we found that both councils are facing very similar issues with regards to missed bins, and that customers are facing the same frustrations. We've identified that our benefits and risks are very similar, and that we've got the same data issues in making sure that they're both accurate and timely, and that we've identified what we would like our dashboard to embody in the future.
Okay, so what are we working on now? During the Agile Teams training as well, we wrote some user stories, and we're now looking at these and looking at what we consider the key user stories that relate directly to the Visualising Waste dashboard, and agreeing that the acceptance criteria from these as a way of demonstrating that a dashboard does meet user needs. That's the way that we'll measure ourselves through the project. We're also looking at working out the cost of missed bins to councils to help us when writing the benefits case. It's going to cost you differ as to whether it's a missed bin report that's closed straight away or whether it's one that requires quite a lot of investigation. We've got developed a prototype created using an Apex system, and we've shared that with Leeds, and Leeds are going to demonstrate that with their waste team, and we're looking for user feedback from that. We're also looking at the waste standards and looking at how we might incorporate these into the dashboard, making sure that the terms that we use on the dashboard are terms that are used by other councils and are plain English and people know what we're talking about. And also both Leeds and NELC are also in the process of writing blogs for the project, which we hope to start publishing on Pipeline on a regular basis. So in terms of what we're going to do next and next steps, we need to do some further work from the NELC side on developing the outcomes of the missed bin reports, which are key really to gaining the business intelligence to inform service improvement. And Leeds are looking into the outcome information that they collect and how this could be extracted. And we also need to look at the prototype that we've done of the outcome that just needs some further work. We've got a map section working, but we also need some charts, and that's something Simon will be working on. We also need to map the data against our prototype to better understand the flow of data and make it easier to share with other authorities. And we're also looking at sharing paper prototypes and screenshots of our Apex prototype with the wider audience through the MHCLG newsletter, and also during one of the sessions at the final MHCLG roadshow at Bradford. We're going to be there doing a half-hour slots and demonstrating the prototypes that we've come up with and getting, as I say, wider feedback on those. Okay, so that's it for our first show and tell. We're hoping to do show and tells on a regular basis every 2 weeks, so we'll be planning the next one very soon. But in the meantime, if you've got any questions about any of the work that we're doing or want to feedback to us in any way, have a look at our prototypes, then you can contact us via our blog, Twitter, or email us. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.